So on social media for the past couple months, I've been seeing a lot of boxing fans criticize MMA and their boxing. You know, they show clips and they kind of criticize in the post and say, oh, like this is terrible boxing from Dustin Poirier or Habib or Conor or whoever. You know, whoever's in the clip, they're like, and they pretty much show like, I guess like just a bad like exchange of boxing, I guess, and head movement or whatever. And they criticize it. And I'm looking at this clip and I'm like, you know that there's other shit that, you know, you have to worry about other than the boxing and MMA? Do we understand that MMA is mixed martial arts? We all understand this. We know this. Boxing, you just use your hands. You have head, obviously there's defensive tactics like, you know, like grabbing people, clinching people or whatever. You know, there's head movement. It's not just punching, right? But, you know, there's other, you know, elements. There is 10 times more elements in MMA than there is boxing. And we're looking at I'm looking at these posts from these boxing fans and they're shitting all over these MMA fighters who I guess don't have great head movement. Yeah, obviously in comparison to like a Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence or a fucking whoever, Canelo, like dude, the boxing of these guys are fantastic. That's what they do for a living. They box. You know, I'm telling you right now, Dustin Poirier, who is a really solid boxer in MMA, he's one of the better strikers in MMA and in the UFC, right? If he just focused on boxing and his head movement and all the, you know, all the stuff that you have to worry about when it comes to boxing, I'm telling you right now, he will be elite. His head movement will be elite. Everything about him will be insane when it comes to the boxing, but he has to worry about other things when you're fighting a Habib. You got to worry about other things when you're fighting Conor McGregor. You got to worry about other things when you're fighting Justin Gaethje or any of these guys. Because, I mean, look what happened when he fought Justin Gaethje. Did he get knocked out by a punch? No. He got knocked out by a head kick. You got to worry about kicks. You got to worry about knees, elbows, grappling, submissions, everything, clinching. You know, the fight doesn't break when you clinch. The fight keeps going when you clinch on the cage or in the middle. It doesn't matter where you are. There is so many facets that you have to worry about when it comes to MMA. And these boxing fans, and it's probably, I mean, I'm assuming that these guys are boxing fans, are saying, oh, dude, these guys will never be good boxers, or, oh, man, like, imagine what Terrence Crawford would do to, you know, to Justin Gaethje. Like, of course, in boxing, like, bro, Terrence Crawford is beating everybody in boxing that is in MMA. Dustin Poirier, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever weight class he's in, I think he's like 147. I don't even know what weight class he's in. Alexander Volkanovski, fucking, you know, Ilia Topuria, and all these other guys, they will do not so well in boxing. But if you put Terrence Crawford in an MMA octagon, and he has to fight Justin Gaethje or whoever, Volkanovski. If he fights Volkanovski in an MMA, you know, shit, okay? He's getting absolutely smoked. We know this, correct? Clarissa Shields, she was undefeated for years in boxing. One of the best women's boxers, probably. I don't even know who's the greatest women's boxer of all time, but I think she's like in that conversation. She has, I think, a few fights in MMA, I believe, in the PFL, and I believe she wins her first fight, but she loses her second fight. Wow. How fucking incredible is that, right? A boxer who has never lost, probably, I don't even know, she's barely lost in boxing ever. As an amateur boxer, she's probably insane, barely loses, whatever. But in her, I believe it was her second MMA fight, she loses. Don't you think that will happen to Terrence Crawford? Don't you think that will happen to Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua? If Anthony Joshua fought Francis Ngannou in an MMA fight, how do you think that fight will go? I'm telling you, it's going to last less longer than his fight, but you know, the fight between the two of them in boxing. I'm telling you right now. But listen, I'm going to give Anthony Joshua a lot of credit. He outclassed, outboxed, and destroyed Francis Ngannou in a boxing match and knocked him out cold. But I'm telling you right now, you have Francis be able to use all of his other weapons, his head kicks, his leg kicks, even his grappling. Even though he's not even the greatest grappler, he is going to destroy Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Andy Ruiz, Alexander Usyk. He's beating everybody because he primarily was focused for most of his life, and when it comes to his mixed martial arts life, was in MMA. It was fighting in an MMA environment. He recently just got into boxing and just started focusing on his hands and focusing on the prowess of boxing. But now, people want to shit all over Francis Ngannou because he got knocked out by Anthony Joshua, who's been a boxer damn near his whole life. Anthony Joshua's been boxing for like fucking forever. Of course he's gonna beat him. Tyson Fury, the only reason why that fight was so close between Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou was because Tyson Fury did not take Francis serious at all. He thought it was going to be a walk in the park and he barely had to train for him. If Tyson Fury trained a lot more for that fight, I'm telling you right now, it probably would have went similar and he would have knocked him out inside probably 5 rounds. He just didn't take him seriously. Francis Ngannou took Tyson seriously and he was able to knock him down. So congrats to Francis on that. That was a great performance. I'm not taking anything away from Francis. He had a great performance and he arguably beat Tyson Fury. But right now, don't tell me a fully trained Tyson Fury is not beating Francis. Tell me. Tell me. He's going to destroy him. He just didn't, bro, same thing with all these other boxers. The only person, because his technique is not all that great, is Deontay Wilder. But still, Deontay Wilder, I think, probably beats Francis too, just because he's been boxing a lot longer. So let's not act like Francis Ngannou hasn't. Bro, he's only been doing this for like a year and a half. He's only been boxing. He hasn't been boxing all that long. And he had a hell of a performance, arguably against the best boxer on the planet. Arguably, I'm not saying that he is, but arguably. I just gotta say this right now. The people on MMA. It used to be called Twitter, MMA Twitter, but it's X. The fucking boxing fans on X need to pipe the fuck down and relax. You gotta understand that some of these clips are taken out of context. And they're talking about, I remember there was a clip that somebody posted about Sean Strickland and Dricus du Plessis, and I guess it was just a sloppy exchange. It was probably the end of the fight, the little sloppy exchange. They went 25 minutes against each other, and they were grappling, and they were doing all sorts of different things other than the boxing. And at the end, it was just pretty much a slugfest between the two of them. You're going to go ahead and talk about that? Bro, they were literally... Bro, just because du Plessis was doing takedowns on Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland was throwing all types of shit at him earlier in the rounds, having crazy output, and that was the end of a grueling 25-minute war. And you want to take it out of context and be like, this is the most sloppiest and ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god, boxing is the most superior sport. Shut the fuck up. Really, shut up. That doesn't make any fucking sense. You guys are fucking... This is idiotic that boxing fans, especially on social media, on X, are just shitting all over MMA when MMA is the most complete combat sport on the planet. Cedric Doumbé smokes Terence Crawford in a MMA fight. I'm spitting fucking facts here. There's too many facets that Terence Crawford has to worry about when it comes to fighting a Cedric Doumbé who knows how to kickbox, who knows how to grapple, who has learned this. You know? Do you think Alex Pereira is going to lose to... Who's a 205-pounder guy? I don't even fucking know. Whoever it is, Dimitri Bivol, the guy who beat Canelo. How do you think that fight goes down in MMA between Alex Pereira and Dimitri Bivol? Or I think that's his name. Alex Pereira's smoking him. Alex Pereira's kicking him to the fucking nether realm. But obviously in boxing, Alex Pereira probably going to get knocked out. Obviously, we know this. This is boxing. 2 different sports. I just don't like the comparisons because they're not fair comparisons because it's 2 entirely completely different sports. And this is not me shitting on... I mean, it may sound like I'm mostly shitting on the fans. This is me talking about these are 2 different games, man. And appreciate both. Appreciate them. Because they're 2 completely different entities. Can we stop trying to compare 2 sports? Because it's just not fair. It's just not fair. Because they're 2 completely different things at the end of the day. Boxing is very limited in few aspects, but it's a beautiful sport and it's great stuff. There's some great boxing matches, and it is a great combat sport that anybody can enjoy. Same thing with MMA, but MMA is multifaceted in almost everything where you can, it's pretty much the most limitless, other than street fighting, it's the most limitless like combat sport ever. Like you can do damn near just almost everything in MMA. Versus boxing, if you throw a kick, you're gonna get disqualified or you're gonna get a point taken off you. If you go for a guillotine, which Nate Diaz tried to do on Jake Paul, and obviously they had to, Nate Diaz had to let him go. You can't do that. You can't do so many things in boxing, but in MMA, I mean, obviously you can't do illegal blows to the back of the head, or just you can hit somebody in the crotch area. You can't do a lot of things too there. You can't knee a grounded opponent. There's obviously rules in MMA, but comparison to boxing, I mean, bro, it feels like there's no rules to MMA in comparison to boxing. So can we stop with this nonsense, this narrative of, and trying to compare, especially the skill levels of these fighters, right? It just doesn't make any sense. Because I feel like I see it at least once a week, where I see a post, and I don't know, it's because I guess I click on it, so it's just recommended to me, where I see somebody that criticizes an MMA, just a portion of an MMA fight. It could be whatever the fuck, and it talks about look at the head movement, this head movement is awful from, there's no types of head movement from Benoit Saint Denis, whatever. Bro, it's there's different things that we gotta worry about. You gotta from Benoit Saint Denis, when he fought Dustin Poirier, he has to worry about the leg kicks of Dustin Poirier. He has to worry about obviously his cardio. You have to worry about in pretty much any combat sport. But I'm just saying, you have to worry about the grappling aspects. You gotta worry about even though it was stupid for him to shoot for guillotines, but you got to worry about not getting choked out by Dustin Poirier. You have to worry about those things as well. It's not just the boxing of Dustin Poirier. It's also just the complete striking, the knees, the leg kicks and everything, the head kicks, whatever. And the grappling. It's not just the boxing. So let's give it a rest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm tired of this. I just wanted to make a video on this because I feel like for the past few months, especially recently, in the past few months, I've been seeing people... And I guess boxing, it's not boxing Twitter, boxing X, I guess, that sounds ridiculous, but anyway, on social media, just shit on MMA when it's dude, why are we doing this? This is a completely different sports, but that's pretty much it. That's all I got to say about that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with another video. Peace out.